Hi everyone, my name is Marta and welcome to Imperfect Life Balance. On my channel, we talk about all topics related to finding that life balance that you desire for yourself. And personal development is one of those key ingredients to have a balanced life. Which is why today we're going to talk about 3 books that I have found very influential on my life. What's even more exciting about today's video is the fact that it is a collaboration with few other YouTubers. So all of us are gonna share those 3 influential books, and we have created a playlist for you which you can find in the description box below. So make sure that after you are done watching this video, you head over and check out the other ones as well. This is an awesome way to find some new titles for your personal growth. Without further ado, the first book I will be talking about is Choose to Win. This is a book written by Tom Ziglar, and it's a book that I actually came across when I was in a library. I just saw it on a shelf, it piqued my interest by the title, and my intuition was spot on with this book. It is such an awesome book about goal setting and implementing different tools and tactics to live the life that you want. So when I started reading this book, I just finished my goal planner and tracker. So something that I have created for myself to help me really plan out my goals and find a way to track them properly. And I have divided that tool into 10 different sections, one for each area of my life. So when I started reading this book, I realized that the author of this book and I have the same philosophy on life when it comes to goal setting, which is that we really need to address all areas of our lives in order to live that fulfilled life. And simply because they are interconnected. So if you only concentrate on one area of your life and ignore the other ones, at some point, you will suffer the negative consequences of that. So to give you a good example on that, let's say you are trying to get into a leadership position and you spend a lot of time at your work. You attend all the meetings, you attend all the happy hour events to make sure that you build out your network. And you really are concentrating just on that work aspect. And what you are neglecting at the same time is your health. So you don't pay attention to a healthy diet, you don't exercise, you don't go for your physicals, you just completely ignore that part of your life. If you do it long enough, obviously your health is going to suffer. You might start getting sick, you might start feeling overwhelmed because you don't allow yourself to do any type of self-care, and the stress is gonna start negatively affecting your life, your relationships, and your health, and it's kind of like a chain event. And that is the biggest lesson from this book that I took, that in order to live that life that we want, we really need to look at our life as a whole. And that book really takes you to like the process of, which area to address first, what to do in each area, how to set goals, how to change bad habits into good habits. It's really filled with a lot of great advice and information that you can take out and really apply to your life starting today. And I will also include the goal planner and tracker that I have created down below. You can download that for free. It is something that I have really found useful to, 1, make sure that I am addressing all areas of my life, and 2, it's a good tool to use to track your goals. Not just write them down and forget about them, but really track your progress. The second book that I found very influential is a book by Rachel Hollis called Girl, Stop Apologizing. This is the second book in her series. The first one is Girl, Wash Your Face. And I talked about that book in my previous video, so I'm gonna link it down below. That first book was really something that got me started on my personal growth journey. So I was very excited when she came out with the second book. And that book is also about embracing the goals that you have set for yourself and going after the life that you want. And she divided this book into 3 parts. The first part of the book is about different types of excuses we give ourselves for not going after our dreams. The second part is about behaviors that we should adapt. And the third part is about skills that we should acquire to go after our goals and to chase our dreams. A lot of content in this book I found very relatable. There were a lot of moments where I found myself saying, oh my God, this is me. This is exactly how I have been in the past. This is exactly the blockage that I have mentally that is preventing me from reaching my goals or chasing my dreams. So obviously I'm not gonna tell you everything that's in this book, but I'm gonna give you one example of something that I have found very relatable to me. And it is the excuse of not going after your dream because somebody else has already done it. So I think this is the case for a lot of us, that we don't want to start a side business, or we don't want to start a hobby, or we don't want to start a Facebook page or a side hustle because somebody has already done it. And this is exactly what was stopping me from starting my blog and this YouTube channel, because there's so many other women doing similar content on YouTube and writing blogs on similar topics. And what Rachel is saying in her book is that we are looking at it from the wrong perspective. That instead of looking at it as market is so saturated with people who are doing similar things, we should look at it from a perspective of, if people who are doing it, there is a lot of them, and they are all successful, that means that there is a lot of demand for that type of content or product or skill. And that is so true. Even right now, when I already have obviously this channel and a blog, I find myself doubting myself of not trying something new, taking a new direction with both of those platforms, because I feel like, well, somebody else is already doing that. Because besides the fact that there is a great demand for this type of content, another thing that we often forget is that even if there are two people presenting the same topic, they're gonna present it from their own perspective. If you're gonna create the same product, you're gonna create it a little bit differently, and you're gonna have your own specific audience. So don't let the excuse of it has been done already, somebody else is doing similar thing, ever stop you from chasing the dream that you have for yourself. And the third book that I'm going to recommend to you today is by Regina, and it's called God Never Blinks. Now, that's not what it says in this book, because this book is in Polish. And funny enough, when I looked on Amazon, the one in English is orange. I don't know why they put this one in blue. But I got this book as a gift from my aunt. I was visiting my family back in Poland a few weeks ago, and we got talking about personal development. And she said, yes, I just started reading a lot of books. And she brought, I think, 3 or 4 books by this author and said, you know what, choose one that speaks to you mostly and, have it as a gift from me. So I chose this one, God Never Blinks. And it has 50 lessons in it from the author that she has learned throughout her life, which the 2 main challenges that she has faced in her life was becoming a single mom at a young age and battling cancer in her 40s. And I don't know about you, but for me, I am always very fascinated to read advice and different perspectives from people who went through that near-death experience, because that definitely changes your perspective on how you see life. And there is a lot of lessons that I have found very relatable to my own life. And the one that I want to just briefly tell you about is that life consists of ups and downs. And the lesson that she is describing is that no matter how good a situation is or how bad a situation is, things will always change. If it's a good situation, I can guarantee you always think, well, there is something I would still like to improve. This part could be a little bit better. And on the other hand, when you look at the situations where you are under a lot of stress or situations where you are just in a bad place, if you look closely enough, you will always find something to be grateful for. And I have definitely saw this in practice in my life over the past few months. I have shared in my video on my morning routine before that one of the things I do in the morning is write 5 things that I am grateful for. So when I started writing it, it was very challenging to come up with 5 because my mindset was just not set up that way. But as I started doing it, I started noticing that even on a really bad day, there were always things that have happened that were really great and something that I am grateful for. So if you have not read this book, I highly recommend it. So that is all I have for you today. Make sure that if you enjoyed this video, you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out the other videos I'm gonna have on the playlist down below so you can get even more inspirational books. And share any additional books that you have found inspirational in your own life. Like I said, I am always looking for some additional new titles. And if you are new here and you are not yet subscribed, make sure that you do so you don't miss any of my future ones. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.